Hello, good morning, dear students. Today I am going to present the first chapter of geography. The name of topic is resources and development. You should know about the definition of resources. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resources. This is the definition of resources. So once again, I want to repeat the definition. You must try to learn it because there will be a question in exam asking the definition of resources, and you should write down this definition. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs. First point is that can satisfy our needs and technologically accessible. And the second thing is that should be technologically accessible. Third thing is economically feasible. And fourth thing is culturally acceptable. Though there are 4 points in this definition. First, once again, I want to go through this definition that can be satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resources. So, dear students, you should know the definition of resources. Then we should go further. Resources can be classified in the following ways. First is on the basis of origin. On the basis of origin can be called biotic and abiotic. On the basis of origin, resources can be divided into two categories, into two classes. First is biotic and the second one is abiotic. Biotic, I am going to give you some examples of biotic. Human beings, human resources, fisheries, and flora and fauna are some examples of biotic resources. Then abiotic. Abiotic resources can be said rocks and sands and minerals, metals. Our next classification is on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. As you can say, renewable resources. Such kind of resources can be renewed, like wind, water, forest, etc. Non-renewable resources cannot be renewed once again because they cannot be reproduced, just like fossil fuel and minerals. See, next category of on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership we can be classified resources into four categories. First is individual, second one is community, third one is national, or fourth one is international. Individual, as you know, many people hold such kind of pieces of land for farming. They can be said that these resources belong to some particular person. So they can be said individual resources. And when such resources are governed and owned by a community or a society, we can call community resources. Third, the resources which fall into the political boundary of a country can be said national resources, like wildlife, water resources, rivers, forests within a country can be called national resources of that particular country. International resources, mainly ocean and seas, can be called international resources. Fourth one is on the basis of the fourth category is on the basis of status of development. Potential, on the basis of status of development, resources can be divided into four categories. First category is potential, second is developed, third one is stock, and the fourth one is reserves. So on the basis of development, the resources can be divided into four categories. Now I'm present the next step of our lesson, that is definition sustainable development. What do you mean by sustainable development? So I'm going to write down the definition of sustainable development on the board. So please write it. Before I go ahead, I want to give you some questions regarding the definition of resources. Now, please write some questions. Several questions are asked in exams on the on short answer short answer type questions and three or four lines answer type questions in the exam. So please write down some questions. First question: what do you mean by resources? What do you mean by resources? Second question is, give examples of give two examples of biotic and abiotic resources. What do you know? What is the definition of non-renewable resources? Give two examples of non-renewable resources. Suppose Raman is a farmer. He has a piece of land and he does his farming activity on it. What type, in which category will you put, in which category will you put Raman's farm? Field. So, dear students, these are some assignment work for you. You should write down the definition of resources which you have written on your notebook, and the second one is give two examples of biotic and abiotic resources. Third question is what is the definition of non-renewable resources? Give two examples of non-renewable resources. You can write down the answers easily. The answers are very easy, but you will have to write down in your notebook. Third is suppose Raman is a farmer, he has a piece of land and he does his farming on it. In which category will you put Raman's field? Raman's field, what will you call? Raman's field individual property, national property, community property, or international property. So please describe. Now the next point is sustainable development. Sustainable development. What do you mean by sustainable development? Usually, question of 1 mark is asked in CBC exams on sustainable development. You will be asked what is the definition of sustainable development and what do you know about sustainable development. Such kind of question, if such kind of question is asked, you will have to write down the definition like this. Sustainable economic development sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment, without damaging the environment, And development in the present and development in the present should not compromise with the needs of the future generation. With the needs of future generation. So, dear friends, this is the definition of sustainable development. You must know about it. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment. First condition is there will be no damaging or depletion of the environment. There will be no deforestation, no erosion of soil, and in that sense, development should be called. Development should take place without damaging the environment, and development in the present should not compromise with the needs of future generation. And we cannot call all the activities development which hurt the needs of the future generation. That cannot be called development. Once again, I am going to present the definition. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment. There will be no hurt, no damage to environment. That kind of activity can be called development. The second feature of development is development in the present should not compromise with the needs of future generation. Okay, we should keep safe. Basically, there is a common thing in development. We shouldn't damage the environment in any case in the name of development. That is known as development. Dear students, an Earth Summit took place in Rio de Janeiro, the Brazilian capital in 1992. So the main theme of the Earth Summit was at the time was to create an awareness among the people of the world about pollution and about the safety of the Earth. So I'm going to write down some points of Earth Summit that took place in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro. Earth Summit 1992. City Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's capital. Participation about more than 100 heads of states took part in it. What was the purpose of this summit? Purpose. To address to address urgent problem of urgent problem of environmental protection and socio-economic development on the global level, and socio-economic development at the global level. Decision. Adoption adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. These are some points regarding the Earth Summit, which took place in Latin American country Brazil's capital Rio de Janeiro in June 1992. And once again, I want to recap all the main points of this summit. As you know, Rio de Janeiro is the capital of Brazil. The Earth Summit took place in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's capital. About more than 100 heads of states took part in this summit. The aim of this summit was to address urgent problem of environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. And the decision was taken that Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. These are some points regarding the Earth Summit which took place in 1992. So dear friends, thank you very much for joining my class, and read and study all the main points of the first chapter of geography and especially sustainable development. Okay, thank you.